So students, let's continue with the next topic in our chapter alcohol, phenol and ether, that is the physical properties of ether. So in this, the first topic which we are going to discuss here is the physical state of ether. Physical state of ether. So lower members, okay, lower members of ether, that can be dimethyl ether or diethyl ether or methyl ethyl ether are gases, and higher members are low boiling point liquids. Okay, they are having low boiling point and they are in their liquid state with a pleasant smell. With a pleasant smell. Okay, with a pleasant smell they will be having out there. Next is the dipole moment. The structure of ether will be like this. Okay, the structure of ether is bent like structure or angular. Okay, it is having bent or angular structure which is similar to that of water. Okay, which is similar to that of water. Here, due to high electronegativity of oxygen group, the CO bond are slightly polar. The CO bond which are formed here, they are slightly polar, and therefore ether have resultant dipole moment. Okay, the ether will be having resultant dipole moment. The angle between the two CO bond here is 110 degree. Here the angle between the two CO bond, it will be 110 degree, and it is having the dipole moment of for dimethyl ether. It will be for dimethyl ether, that is CS3, it will be 1.3 D, while for dimethyl ether, that is C2H5 OC2H5, it will be 1.18 D. Okay, so these are the dipole nature or the dipole moment of the ethers. Boiling point. Ethers have low polarity. Ethers are having low polarity, and as a result do not show any association by intermolecular hydrogen bonds. Hydrogen bonding. Hence, ether are having low boiling point, low boiling point, and the boiling point is lower than that of the isomeric alcohols and almost the same of the alkanes. Okay, and almost same of alkanes of comparable molecular mass, of the comparable molecular mass. So here we will see that dimethyl ether, that is C2H5O, C2H5. Next is the butyl alcohol. Okay, means C4H9OH and alkane, that is pentane. Okay, pentane. Here pentane will be having C5H12. Okay, so here the boiling point will be 307.6 degree Kelvin for the ethers, while for the butyl alcohol it will be 390 Kelvin, and for the alkanes it will be 309.1. Okay, so we will see that the boiling point for the alkanes, which are having the same molecular mass as that of the dimethyl ether, is somewhat comparable. Okay, so hence we can say that due to having due to lacking the intermolecular hydrogen bonding, the boiling point of the ether is very low. Next, solubility. Solubility can be said, for the solubility we can assert here that the solubility of ether is comparable the solubility of ether is comparable to those of corresponding alcohols, to those of the corresponding alcohols of same molecular mass. Okay, however the solubility, however the solubility of ether decreases, of ether decreases from lower members to higher members of ether. This is due to the increase in the alkyl group, which decreases the tendency of forming the hydrogen bonds there. Okay, so commonly ethers are soluble in alcohols, chloroform, acetones, and benzenes. The last is the density. The last physical property for the ether is the density. All ethers are lighter than water. All ethers are lighter than water. Okay. So next is your chemical properties of ethers. Next is the chemical properties of ether. And in this, first we are going to see the reactions of ethereal oxygen, and in this first is the reaction of ether with air. Okay, that is formation of peroxide. Formation of the peroxides. So on exposure to sunlight, ethers slowly reacts with the oxygen from air to form the hydroperoxides or peroxides, which are explosive. Ethers in the presence of sunlight slowly reacts with oxygen of air to form hydroperoxides or peroxides, which are explosive. Which are explosive. For example, CS3CH2 or CS3CH2, that is diethyl ether, is reacting with oxygen in the presence of light to form ethoxyethyl hydroperoxide. Ethoxyethyl hydroperoxide. Okay, these peroxides are unstable compounds. Okay, so these peroxides which are formed out here, they are unstable compounds and are hazardous because they decompose violently on heating. On heating, they will decompose violently, and therefore proper care should be taken while distilling the old samples of ethers. Serious accidents may occur during the distillation process if old samples of the ether is containing the peroxides. Okay, so next is the action of ether with concentrated acids. Reaction of ether with concentrated acids. Formation of oxonium salts. This process can be termed as formation of oxonium salts. Okay, so here in this particular reaction, ethers are reacting with acids, concentrated acid, that are cold to form dialkyl oxonium hydrogen sulfate. If we are taking diethyl ether, which is reacting with concentrated H2SO4 in cold condition, then formation of diethyl oxonium hydrogen sulfate will take place. Similarly, if HCl is there, then formation of dioxonium chloride will take place. Okay, in the place of sulfate, chloride will be added out there. So this is the reaction of ether with the acids. This reaction can be distinguished between ether and alkanes. Okay, this can be used to distinguish between ether and alkane because alkanes do not react with the dilute acids. Generally, we will see that ethers are reacting with dilute acid, but the alkanes are not reacting with the dilute acids. Next is the reactions of ether with Lewis acids. Reaction of ether with Lewis acid. Being Lewis base, okay, as ether is acting as a Lewis base, ether form complexes with Lewis acids. Ether being a Lewis base forms complexes with Lewis acids such as BF3, AlCl3, FeCl3, etc. called etherates. Okay, they will be termed as etherates. Now, the examples here: CS3, CH2, O, CH2, CS3 plus BF3. So here CS3, CH2, O, CS3, CH2, and lone pair of electrons will be donated or it will be shared with the BF3 by the oxygen. Okay, so boron trifluoride etherate. The name of this compound is boron trifluoride etherate. These boron trifluoride etherates are able to dissolve Grignard reagents. Okay, so they are able to similarly diethyl ether reacts with Grignard. Sorry, they will be the diethyl ether. Okay, that is 2 CH3 CH2O will be reacting with the Grignard reagent to form O CH3 CH2 CH2 CH3 twice O CH3 CH2 twice X, that is Grignard reagent etherate. Okay, and hence in many of the places you have observed that when we are using the Grignard reagent, we are generally using dry ether there. So the reason to use dry ether is that generally the Grignard reagent are soluble in ethers. Okay, they are soluble in ethers, and that is why Grignard reagents are usually prepared in ethers only. However, they cannot be prepared in benzene because benzene has no lone pairs of electrons and they cannot form the complexes. Okay, they cannot form the complexes. The next type of reactions for the ether which we are going to observe here is the reaction involving cleavage of carbon oxygen bonds, cleavage of carbon oxygen bonds. Okay, ethers are less reactive of the functional groups. Ethers are less reactive of the functional groups. Carbon oxygen bond, okay, carbon oxygen bond in ether is cleaved under very drastic conditions. Okay, here we will see that the carbon oxygen bonds in the ether, it will be broke out in very drastic conditions. So first example here we can take for the cleavage of the carbon oxygen bond of the ethers by ether by, okay, cleavage of carbon oxygen bonds of ether by halogen acids. Halogen acids. Okay. So the carbon oxygen bond in ether can be cleaved by heating with hydroiodic acid. Okay. That is when we are heating the ether with hydroiodic acid or hydrobromic acid at 100 degrees Celsius or 373 Kelvin, alcohols and alkyl halides will be formed out. So the general reaction here, it can be written as ROR plus HX at 373 Kelvin. It will produce alcohol with alkyl halides, where HX is generally HI and HBr. Okay. So here we can take the example for the reaction. CH3 CH2O CH2 CH3, that is diethyl ether. I have taken the example. It is being heated with hydroiodic acid at 373 Kelvin. So here the formation of CH3 CH2OH will take place, and CH3 CH2I will also take place. That is ethyl iodide and ethyl alcohol will take place. So what is the mechanism of this reaction? So the mechanism of this reaction here is that here CH3 CH2O CH3 CH2, sorry, CH2 CH3. Okay, so the oxygen's lone pair, it will, the ether molecules being Lewis base. Okay, as we have studied before also, that ether molecules are Lewis base. So it will get it gets protonated by the hydrogen of the acid. Okay, it will get protonated by the hydrogen of the acid, that is hydroiodic acid or hydrobromic acid. So after the protonation here, a plus charge will be obtained by the ether, and it will be termed as protonated ether. Okay, that is termed as oxonium ion. It is also termed as oxonium ion. Okay, so here the reaction takes place with HBr and HI because these reagents are sufficiently acidic. Now, iodide ion is a good nucleophile. We know that iodide ion is a good nucleophile here. Okay, so what it will do, due to its nucleophilic nature, it will get attracted towards the nucleophile here. Okay, it will get attracted towards the nucleophile here. and here what will happen, here the oxygen will take out its lone pair here, and the iodide will react with the carbocation. Okay, sorry, here the carbocation will be the compound, the carbon atom which is breaking the bond with oxygen here. Okay, so here the formation of carbocation will take place, and here the iodide, which is a nucleophile, okay, which is a nucleophile, it will attack on this carbocation, and hence it will occur as a SN2 reaction. Okay, it will occur as a SN2 reaction, and formation of transition state will take place here, where CH3 CH2O with a positive charge, CH3 with I here. Okay, with I here is present. Now here in this transition state, we will observe that the bond between CH3I and CH3O both are temporary bonds. Okay, and here due to this what will happen, due to the more positive charge here between due to the positive charge between the oxygen and the carbocation here, they will just separate with each other. Okay, they will just separate with each other, and formation of iodomethane. Okay, sorry, not iodomethane, C2H5. This is C2H5, that is iodoethane and alcohol, that is ethanol, will take place. Okay, so this is the reaction mechanism. Okay, this is the reaction mechanism for the compound. So here the reactivity series for the alcohols will be that HI will be more reactive with ether as comparison to that of the HBr, and HBr will be more reactive as comparison to that of the HCl. Okay, next is the cleavage of unsymmetrical alkyl ether. Okay, in the case of unsymmetrical, this was for the symmetrical alkyl ether. Now we will see the cleavage of the unsymmetrical alkyl ether. So when unsymmetrical alkyl ethers are present, then the formation of alkyl halide. Okay, in this case unsymmetrical ethers have two different alkyl groups. The alcohols and the alkyl halides formed depends on the nature of the alkyl groups. If primary and secondary alkyl groups are present, then the reaction occurs by SN2 mechanism. Okay, if the primary and the secondary the groups are present, then the reaction will take place by the SN2 mechanism. The halide ions attacks the smaller alkyl group because of less steric hindrance. Thus, in case of unsymmetric ethers, we will find that two alkyl groups. Okay, we will find two different alkyl groups, and the site of cleavage is such that the halide is formed from the alkyl group which is smaller in size. Okay, so here we can see that the alkyl group which is smaller in the ether, it is forming the alkyl halide, while the group which is larger, it is forming the alcohol. But in the case of alkyl groups which are containing primary and secondary alkanes, okay, primary and secondary alkyl groups, then also the compound formation will be there, that the smaller group, okay, the smaller group alkyl group will be forming the alkyl halides, and the larger group, it will be forming out the alcohol, and that also second degree alcohol. Okay, second degree alcohol will be formed out. The reaction for the isopropyl, okay, For the isopropyl ether here is that the reaction mechanism here is that the isopropyl ether and HI. So here the protonation of ether will take place, that is isopropyl methyl ether will take place, and due to this CH3CH CH3O protonated ether will be formed out here with an iodide ion. Now iodide ion, it will as a nucleophile, it will react with the smaller alkyl group which is having less steric hindrance. Okay, with the smaller alkyl group which is having less steric hindrance to form alkyl halide, and the next group it will be forming the alcohol, that is also secondary alcohol here. Okay, but in the case of tertiary groups, okay, that is tertiary ethers, tertiary butyl methyl ether. For taking an example of tertiary butyl methyl ether, here when it is been reacted with hydroiodic acid, here the just opposite will be the formation, that the bigger group or the larger group is forming the alkyl halide, and the smaller group is forming here the alcohol. So what is the mechanism here? The mechanism here, it will be CCS3 CH3 CH3. So here the mechanism is SN1 mechanism. Okay, here it is the SN1 mechanism. So here the oxygen gets protonated here. Oxygen gets protonated here, and due to protonation of oxygen here, oxonium ion will be formed out. Oxonium ion will be formed out. Okay, and the oxonium ion which is formed out here, what did happen here? Here the bond will be breaked out here by SN1 mechanism. Okay, and this will be a slow process. This will be a slow process, and formation of carbocation will take place in the tertiary alkyl group. Okay, so carbocation will form here in the tertiary butyl carbocation, which is more stable carbocation as comparison to that of the methyl alcohol group. Okay, so then the iodide, okay, the iodide which is present here after the formation of carbocation, tertiary butyl carbocation, the iodide which is present here, it will react with the carbocation and it will behave as a nucleophile here, and nucleophilic fast reaction will take place, and addition of that is addition of iodide will take place here, and formation of tertiary iodomethane will tertiary iodobutane will take place. Okay, next is the cleavage of alkyl aryl, cleavage of alkyl aryl ether. So here we can take example for alkyl aryl ether OCH3, that is anisole, plus hydroiodic acid. Here the formation of alcohol will take place, and alkyl halide, that is from the smaller group, alkyl halides will be formed out here. Next is the cleavage by sulfuric acid. Cleavage by sulfuric acid. Okay, so cleavage of the ether by sulfuric acid can be carried out by the reaction, can be shown out by the reaction ROR, that is ether reacted with water in the presence of dilute H2SO4. Heat will take place here. Okay, heat will be here. So the formation of alcohol will take place. Okay, formation of alcohol will take place here. And if this reaction is carried out under pressure. Okay, carried out under pressure. So here CH3, CH2O, CH2, CH3, that is diethyl ether plus water in the presence of dilute H2SO4, and heating is done here. So the formation of CH3, CH2OH, that is ethanol, will be formed out. If H2SO4 is used, ether forms alcohol and ethyl hydrogen sulfate. Okay, if concentrated H2SO4 is used in the place of dilute sulfuric acid, if we are using concentrated H2SO4, okay, CH3, CH2O, CH2, CH3, and dilute concentrated acid is being used. Sorry, dilute, in the place of dilute sulfuric acid, we are using concentrated sulfuric acid, and heat is being provided here. Then the formation of ethyl alcohol will take place, but with it, formation of ethyl hydrogen sulfate will also take place. In the case of secondary and tertiary ethers, alkene and alcohol will formed out. Okay, in the case of the secondary and primary ethers, formation of alcohols, that is here CH3OH, that is methanol, and alkene will be taken place here, that is prop 2-methyl isobutylene. Okay, here it will take place for the formation of isobutylene. Okay, so these were some of the reactions for the cleavage of carbon oxygen bond for the ether. In the next class we will continue with the ring substitution aromatic ethers and the reaction of alkyl groups of the ethers. Okay, so for today I am closing the class here only. We will meet up in the next class. Thank you.